Hey, what's up, good people? Welcome to another FIREDUP KC episode. I am your host, Zeke Wanganga, and today with me, I have one of the top DJs in Kansas City, if not the number one female DJ in KC. She has done gigs as Sporting KC Match. She's DJed at Monarch Bar, and so this is a big event. So please help me make welcome the one and only DJ Nez in the house. How you doing?
I'm great.
How you doing today?
I'm amazing. Thank you for having me.
It's an honor.
You just hyped me up, so I'm like...
No, I ain't hyping you up. I'm just stating the facts. If they Google you, that's what they're going to see.
Man.
But it's so nice to have you here. You're looking great. You're looking fantastic.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I saw that, everybody comes here fresh. So I was like, I got to meet the standard.
You came with a drip. Well, great to have you on the show. So for those who do not know who DJ Nez is, give them a little bio about yourself and how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, so... I'm from Kansas City.
Okay.
Both of my parents are from Mexico.
Okay.
So I'm the proud daughter of two immigrant parents.
Okay.
But yeah, we've been in Kansas City for a while. I also have some roots from LA. So kind of got to see the culture out there, the culture here. But yeah, DJ Nez kind of flourished from my culture.
Yes.
So we in Mexican culture love throwing big parties.
Yes.
Sometimes there doesn't even have to be a reason.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a reason. Yep.
So I kind of got branded as a DJ.
Okay.
So I would show up to the house parties, and the first order of business was, where's the speaker at? Like, where's the aux cord? Where's the speaker? Where's the Bluetooth? And yeah, my family kind of just started to brand me as the person that was designated with the vibes, the music.
Yes.
And I think that's what attracted me the most was I could control, kind of, in a way, you can control everybody's mood in the room.
Yeah, exactly.
By setting the vibes,
yes,
right? Even though it's something so subtle and like something that people probably don't even like realize.
Exactly.
But once you get them going, like the party started,
Yeah, I mean that's true, because if you ever go into like a club when DJ is bad, it's just a bad vibe all night. Like you're like, what is this person playing? Like, can you switch? Just give me the aux cord, right? So
exactly.
It's not. People think it's easy to DJ. It's not easy to DJ. You have to have the ear for music, right?
Right. Yeah, you have to have the ear for music. You have to be able to read the room. You
Exactly.
have to be able to read the vibe. A lot of people think it's just getting up there and like pressing buttons, which I wish it was. I really do. But there is way much more to that.
Yes. So actually, speaking of throwing parties, I'm Nigerian, and literally we throw a party for every single thing.
Word.
Funerals, birthdays, marriage, anything we drink even on days where there's a recession. We just drink because there's a recession. So we drink every time. So I understand that.
You have to. It's part of life.
Yes. Actually, let me ask you this. How did you come up with the name DJ Nez? What is the story behind that?
So I was coming up with my DJ name, and I was just like, I want something unique, but I want it to be me.
Yeah.
So I know there's a lot of friends that would tell me like, oh, you should use this name, but nothing seemed to identify with me.
Yes.
But then I was like, well, I remember I was having somebody make the logo for me.
Okay.
And I told him, put dollar signs in the S. Like, just put dollar signs. Like, I feel like people will identify with that,
Yes.
And he's like, he was kind of iffy about it. He's like, I don't know how that will look. And I'm like, just do it, dude. Like,
just do it.
Just do it. So, yeah, now people will address me as DJ Nez, dollar sign.
Dollar sign, DJ Nez, dollar sign.
Yeah, the dollar sign. They're always like, you can't forget the dollar sign.
Yes.
Like, you see, branding.
Exactly.
Like, branding.
Yes.
And people know, they know me as like a go-getter, somebody that's going to go after it. So that's kind of how I identified with it.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I like the name DJ, because you gave me the card and I was like, DJ Nez, some dollar. That's money right there.
You're like, money signs? Okay.
You can't forget it. It always sticks. Now, can I give us just more like a background of being a woman who's a DJ and also being Latino, also a DJ? What has that industry been for you? Was it easy going into the industry? Well, what is it kind of like the struggles you faced?
So for the most part, I think it's kind of been a little bit more welcoming for me specifically. That may not always be the case for everyone.
Yes.
I started out during quarantine.
Okay.
I had the time to practice, buy equipment, kind of get familiarized with it. And then I came back to KC during quarantine, and I had some old friends that, you know, DJ Victor was one of my old friends that said, hey, I've been seeing you, you know, post about becoming a DJ. Like, I've been seeing you practice and stuff. Want to come out and do like a live set? And I mean, at first, this was like, I literally didn't know anything. You know, you think, it's when you think you know what you're doing, but you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. You're like, I don't really actually know what I'm doing.
Exactly.
So it was at that point where I realized, like, this is a very welcoming community. You know, the DJ community here, I feel like it's kind of small in a way.
Exactly.
So everybody kind of knows each other, and it's like, oh, you want to do a gig with me? Or like, oh, you know, if you really vibe with someone or you really connect with someone as a DJ, it's kind of like a little easier to mash up. As a woman, however, yeah, I've kind of gotten like the, are you a real DJ? Or like, are you an actual DJ? Like, no, I just put DJ in front of my name to put DJ in front of my name.
What do you mean?
So it has been a little bit more complicated.
Exactly,
you know, to kind of navigate that.
But I mean, for me, just seeing how, you know, I think Casey, like you said, pretty much has like welcomed you and given you that platform. Was that too fast for you, or was it like, do you expect it?
Super fast.
It was too fast, right?
Super fast. That first gig was at Teocalli, which is a Mexican restaurant, rooftop bar. And I mean, literally right after that, everybody was like, yeah, we love you, this and that.
Yes.
You know, we were like really vibing. I was really vibing with the crowd there. And I've been coming back to play there for about 2 years now. Shout out DJ Victor, who's been having me every time. But yeah, I kind of learned from him. And then the crowd was always like a very welcoming crowd there. The bar within itself, I love places that are just super welcoming with like their employees, you know, the owners. So that, I'm very grateful that was my first gig. You know, like that was the perfect way to ease into it. But right after that, things just started picking up, and I started gaining more tractions with like other bars, weddings, all those other events. And I kind of thought it was really fast because, to be honest, I've only been in the game for about a year and a half, 2 years.
Wow.
So yeah, it was pretty fast.
Yeah. So, because when I think it was an event by Craig Moore, Black Excellence KC, in collaboration with some other organizations, and while I was in the crowd, I heard the music that you played Afro beats, and I'm like, who is this DJ? I need to meet this DJ that makes, because you have AfroB, you have Latina music, and you have American music, and I'm like, who is, like, the way you mix it up is like, I'm just like, I took a snap, and I'm like, this is too fun. Is that strategic for you to be able to mix, you know, Afro beats and being able to have Latinx? What is the inspiration behind being able to make that kind of combination?
Yeah, I think that's honestly what kind of helps me distinguish myself as a brand. I love walking into a room and being able to feel out the people and kind of just, and if you know, they don't necessarily identify with the music, at least introducing them to a new type of music. So it's kind of a product of my environment, right? I kind of have been around so many different types of cultures, so many different types of people, and I love it. And that's what kind of helped me incorporate, what helps me incorporate every time that I'm at a gig, Afro beats, salsa, merengue, and a lot of people don't even know that Latin music comes from African roots, right? So it's kind of easy to kind of already incorporate that all together because it kind of comes from the same structure. But yeah, that's kind of the inspiration behind it, and I love that people, you know, a lot of Latinos, especially maybe Latinos that grew up here in the United States, that listen to hip hop, listen to R&B, but also listen to Latin music, listen to reggaeton, and they're like, okay, like I identify with you, you know, and I'm like, I got you, I got you.
Because so I'm gonna have a confession to make. I am really bad at salsa. Like I am a horrible. Maybe towards the end of the show you teach me how to do that. But being someone who is, you know, really, I grew up listening to Afro beats, and listening to that was as close to Afro beat as I can get, you know. But now tell me, how did you get, you know, introduced to Afrobeat? Like what was that? When did that happen?
Mostly in college. I was around a lot of Nigerians, and I think from there, I kind of started meeting a lot of people from different cultures.
Okay.
And that kind of helped me segue into, well, this sounds a lot like, you know, the type of music that I listen to,
Yes.
like the Latin music that I listen to.
Yes.
And I was also kind of a minority within my college experience. You know, I was one of the only Latinas that was always around in the environment. And so I think that kind of helped me identify with other groups and other people. And I was like, okay, well, you know, our cultures don't seem that different. They seem very similar more than different. So that was kind of my introduction to that.
Yeah, man, because I think you just had the soccer gig just like recently. How did that come about, and what was the feeling like being able to be the DJ for, you know, a whole soccer match? Like, how did you even get opportunity, and how did that feel?
Yeah, that's been insane. I still haven't even processed it, to be honest. So that came about because they were looking for a Latin DJ to DJ at their sporting gig against Houston. And they were kind of just looking for Latin DJs all around Kansas City, and they went with, you know, the DJ that they kind of chose, which ended up being me. I was pretty shocked.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so basically they said, you know, we're trying to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month.
Exactly.
Do you? And when you have that much leadway and that much, like, creative freedom, you're kind of like, yeah, like, I like this, but I don't know what to do, you know? So it was kind of nerve-wracking, you know? I played for the stadium when people were coming in. I played during halftime.
Exactly.
And then after the match, I was put in the brew house, and people continued the party there. But it was really cool because people will walk in, and the DJ booth is very out in the open in the stadium. So they see you, and they're like, hey, they're like, you're different, you know? They're like, we don't usually see you here. And I'm like, what's up? And so, and all the little girls that, like, walk by, you can, like, catch them kind of eyeing you, you know?
Yes.
But, yeah, that's the really cool part about it is people see something different, and they embrace it so well, and they embrace it greatly. And then I even, you know, the biggest thing for me is when I play my music, when I play J Balvin, when I play Bad Bunny, and people are like, they're nodding their head at first, and they're like, okay, yeah, I can get into this, you know? And you feel that vibe, you feel that rhythm. And within a big stadium, that's a very surreal feeling.
Wow. I don't, like, I can't imagine myself playing music on, like, your system and going on the speakers. Like, hearing that in the speakers, was that a different feel from being in a club playing it?
Yeah. I'm like, that took me back to the first time that I ever mixed anything in my room by myself. And I was just, you know, thinking back to that time, and I'm like, literally almost 2 years later, like, we're here playing for a bigger sound system.
Yes.
Even doing the first sound check was, you know, super, super cool. And
I
was
know.
Just like, all right, we're doing this.
Mama, I made it. But so let's talk a little bit. Let's shift gears a little bit. Because you are still in college. You're not even out of college yet, and you're making all these big moves in KC, being a legend in KC.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Talk about college. What is your major, and what is the transition between being in college and having your studies and also being a DJ that's popularly known in Kansas City?
Yeah, so I'm a student at the University of Missouri at Columbia. Mizzou, go Tigers. I'm studying political science with a minor in Black Studies.
Okay, political science. How does that happen?
You go into college, and there's not a lot of things that, you know, you kind of enjoy or like.
Exactly.
So you're like, let me go with the major that I see myself the most doing.
Yes.
So that kind of derailed as the years went on. But Black Studies was definitely classes that I really enjoyed and I kept taking.
Exactly, yes.
And that kind of just happened organically. But yeah, I'm in my last year at
Congrats,
Mizzou.
okay.
And I think that's kind of influenced also the way that I see me as a creative DJ, right? So living in Columbia, Missouri for like 3.5 years, there was no Latin clubs, no Latin bars out there.
Wow.
every night, I remember every Friday night, my friends would be like, let's go out. And, they'd want to listen to like reggaeton. They'd want to listen to like a mixture of that and hip hop. And it's like, well, where do we go? Like, there's
nowhere,
nothing,
Yes.
So that's kind of the little extra push that had me motivated and encouraged to like, yeah, go ahead, start something. Be the person. It can be very scary, but when you know that there's a need for something in a community, it's a very powerful thing to actually like be the first to embark and do it.
Yes. I don't know if you know, but like it gives me joy just to know that there's a DJ in Kansas City that plays Latinx music and Afro beats. Like any club you're going to, I'm gonna be there because usually when I go to clubs, right, it's not you have to go and make a special request, and they almost never play it. You know what I mean?
I'm guilty.
But you know what I mean? And it's like if I see a club that is like the Monarch Bar, that's huge. You know, you can't hear Afrobeat in that club. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember within like my first couple minutes during that set, somebody came up and they're like, "Can you play Essence?" I'm like, "Girl, that was already on the track.
That's already. Hey, let's go. Hey, that's what I'm talking about." Now tell me this, because by the way, let me ask you this: wine, do you drink it?
I love wine.
I don't even notice, but we have like two glasses here. I don't even notice the whole show.
I love wine. I love tequila too, but I love wine.
Toast to being a success in Kansas City.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And this is good wine. It's my best wine. But anyways, so talking about you, what is the transition for you? Are you going to go into political science, or is DJ going to be the full thing you're doing? Because I think you're having a lot of success in that.
Honestly, I don't know. I'm kind of just figuring it out right now. So I went into political science knowing that there's a big need for political organization in Kansas City. I think there's, coming from my own experience as the daughter of 2 immigrants, and knowing that there's a lot of things that my parents went through that don't necessarily seem right. That's kind of what drives me to be that political change. However, I do see myself, writing this right out and vibing it out with being a DJ. But who's to say that I can't do both? You know what I mean? Like, who's to say that we can't have like a congresswoman who gets down on the turntables and like plays the ones and twos? You know what I mean?
I'll be down. I'll vote. We have all the Nigerian vote. Like if you can be a congresswoman who can get down, you have all our votes. All Nigerians will all vote for you because we're like, yeah, let's get down. We gotta get.
You know what I mean? And I feel like this generation is very good about. We're opening doors to things that people don't see as the norm or the status quo. And that's what I really embrace about everything is, yes, I can be a college student. Yes, I can be a full-time executive director. Yes, I can be a DJ and a woman, right? And still like coexist within all these realities.
Yes. So you are an executive director, a DJ, a pol-sci major, a Black Studies minor. You have all this going on for you, and you're still in college. Like you haven't even gone out there. So I am definitely looking forward to what to come next. I know you're going to be a big deal in Kansas City, not just in Kansas City, in the U.S. as a whole. Now we've come towards the end of the show, but I want to ask you last 2 questions before I go to the game section. First question is, what is one lesson you think you've learned from maybe a failure you had that you want to tell someone out there who's trying to build their vision or their dream that you want to tell them today? And then second question is, what is one thing you're thankful for?
A failure.
Maybe I don't think you have any of those.
I definitely have it.
You got it all right.
Let's be real. I definitely have failures. No, it's just I gotta think about which one. You know what I mean?
There's so many of them. You're like, I gotta get the right one.
No, I think something that I identify with, and I feel like a lot of people, especially first generation college students, is taking a break. So about 2 years ago, right before COVID happened, actually. I had to take a break. I had to take a semester off for mental health reasons. And it was a lot, being the first in my family to embark on this journey to college, being away from home, not knowing what I'm doing necessarily. That can take a mental toll on somebody. And I had to tell myself, it's okay. It's fine. Like, take that semester off. do what you got to do, get yourself together, and then come back. So it's been hard to kind of finish off college because you kind of feel defeated when you do have to do that. But that's just a part of life, you know?
Yes.
So I would say that's a failure that I've learned from. And I feel like if you need to take a break from something, your body, your mind, your spirit is telling you to, then you probably have to do it.
What is one thing you're thankful for?
One thing I'm thankful for is the community I've built here in KC. So every time that I have a gig, at least a handful of my people are out there looking at me. Yeah, and it's the best because they're always the ones hyping you up. You know?
Yes.
And I'm like,
yes.
So that's
wow.
That's something that I'm very grateful for is the people here that have, and even if they're not my people, new people that have embraced me as a DJ. So
awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to. I'm one of your fans now. You know, whenever I go to a bar or a club or event, you're DJing. You know, I'm gonna be back there shouting DJ Ness. DJ Ness $. But,
you can't forget the dollar sign.
You can't forget the dollar sign. That's the main brand right there. But anyways, we've come to the end of the show. But let me ask you two game. This is the game section. So first question is your top 5 artists for this year, and then second question is what are 2 collaborations you think you want to see? 2 artists you see. Let's say 4 artists you think you want to have them collaborate in different music.
That's a very tough question. Both are very tough questions. Okay, well, the first one is a little easy because Stevie Wonder will always be at the top of my list.
Wow,
it doesn't matter what year it is, what season. Stevie Wonder. I'm a very big fan of Motown. Secondly, Bad Bunny.
Okay.
Putting Latinos on the map for sure. Third is J Balvin. Another great reggaeton artist, putting Latinos on the map. And then, after that, it's kind of hard. Let me see here. Oh, I would probably say, I'd probably say Tupac. I'm a very big old school fan.
Okay. Who would you give top 3 album of the year? Who would you give it to? Top 3 album of the year. Let me give you options.
Yes, please.
Drake, Kanye, Burna Boy, Wizkid, Davido.
Okay. I would say I'm not a big fan of the first 2. I will listen to them, but I'm not a big fan. So I'm just gonna go with Burna Boy.
Okay.
First one.
Okay.
Drake, just because statistically speaking.
Yeah.
You know. And you gotta give Wizkid props.
You gotta give Wizkid props.
You gotta give
respect, to the legend. Yep.
For sure.
Yep.
That's the top 3.
Yes, awesome. Well, thank you for coming on this show. It's been a fun episode. We pretty much had a good time.
And it was a great time. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you for what you're doing in KC. And also, how can people get in contact with you if they want to book you or if they want to see what you got going on?
Yeah, so my main form of communication and marketing is my Instagram, so at DJ Ness Official.
$.
You don't need to have $.
I'm joking.
Yeah, but
the Ness,
the Ness
is a $2 sign.
It is $2 signs, but yeah, DJ Ness Official.
Okay.
Follow me on Instagram. You know, I usually post where I'm playing, where I'm at.
Okay.
So yeah.
But anyways, thank you again for coming on the show. It's been an honor to have you, and having a young DJ, a female DJ in KC, one of the top DJs. Man, DJing for Sporting KC, Monarch Bar, Lotus. You got a whole resume now, but thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, appreciate it.
For those who are watching from home, please, you know what to do. It's the FIREDUP KC show. I'm your host, Zeke Wanganga. Subscribe, share, let people know. Let's get this popping.
Let's go.
Hey, stay fired up, don't give up, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye for now.